Welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel for an important update. You may remember the West Virginia Circuit Court judge who was pulled over in a traffic stop by the Moorefield Police Department, resulting in the dash cam footage going viral on various YouTube channels, including my own, which this is where it was first released to the public, actually. Judge Carter Williams ended up being formally charged with judicial disciplinary charges. While those charges were pending, Judge Williams got in trouble again due to allegations that he left Walmart with merchandise but without paying. More judicial disciplinary charges were tacked on. Well, his judicial disciplinary bench trial just ended, following 3 days of testimony before West Virginia's Judicial Hearing Board, which is sort of an ethics court composed of judges and a few appointed citizens. The bench trial was open to the public and was held in Berkeley County, West Virginia, which is up in the northern Panhandle region up near D.C. However, I was unable to view these proceedings because I was actually subpoenaed as a witness, since some of the relevant testimony pertained to the public's reaction to the footage on YouTube, actually. The video that I had uploaded had around, I think, 2,500 comments. And so that was one of the things that the court was looking at, is how the public reacted to it, which is interesting. So, if you recall, when I first put a video up about this, I had obtained this footage first before anyone else, publicly anyways, through my own FOIA request. So I ended up not being called as a witness, though I'm not sure the reason. But the trial ended today, as reported by a media outlet in West Virginia, and I've linked all this at the website at thecivilrightslawyer.com. So let's take a look at the footage again real quick, and then we will get to the testimony.
What's the problem?
How you doing, sir? The reason I'm stopping you...
Judge Williams.
Gotcha.
And I don't... Why did you stop me?
You had your cell phone in your hand.
I had my phone like this.
Yeah.
I just lost it. I was just looking for it, pulled it up like this, was not on it. I just looked in the... Go up and look.
Okay, why are you screaming at me?
Sir, I
you have your license,
wasn't doing
registration, proof of
anything.
insurance? You have your license, registration, proof of insurance?
I wasn't doing anything wrong.
You have your license, registration,
I'm
proof
not
of
going to
insurance?
give you my license and registration.
You were doing something wrong. You cannot have a handheld...
I had my phone just like this. I was not on my phone.
In what state of West Virginia you cannot have a handheld cell phone?
And you all aren't ever on yours, right? You're never on yours. I drive by a lot of times and y'all are on yours. You're never on yours, right?
Okay, I don't understand why you're
never
yelling
on
at
yours.
me. Why are you yelling at me, sir?
I said you're never on yours.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not yelling at you.
Yes, you have been. I've never raised my voice at you.
Let me tell you something. You all are on yours. I was not
talking about If you read the code says that if we're conducting official business, you can be on it. I just don't know why you're yelling at me.
No, not on official business.
Okay.
Here.
Thank you, sir. Why are you so uptight? Huh?
Go ahead and give me a ticket.
What's going on?
Give me a ticket.
Why are you so shaky? What's going on?
I'm irritated because you pulled me over for no reason.
You had your cell phone in your hand.
I picked up my cell phone because I had it lost.
Okay.
I pulled it up here and I had my hand on it here.
Okay.
To put it in here.
You know the law,
you saw.
though. You know the law.
So what? What if I have a cup in my hand?
You can't have a cell phone in the state of West Virginia in your hand.
Give me a ticket. Write me a ticket.
I just don't understand why you're...
Go give me a ticket. Write me a ticket. And I'll take it up to the town office and I'll go to trial. Give me a ticket. Go ahead. It's ridiculous what you're doing.
How is it ridiculous?
It's ridiculous.
That you had your cell phone in your hand.
Because you all have yours. I've seen it many times. Y'all have yours and you don't get pulled over. And don't tell me it's on official business. I hear your cases every day in court.
Okay, what's that mean?
Give me a ticket. Give me a ticket. Give me a ticket. I'm really irritated about this whole... Go ahead and give me a ticket.
But why are you being like this to me? I've never done nothing to you in my whole life.
You just pulled me over for no reason.
Because you had your cell phone in your hand.
Pulled me over for no reason.
You had your cell phone. Okay.
Hello. Yeah. You can write me a ticket or not. I don't care. I'll take it up to town. We'll go to a trial, buddy. That's fine with me. And I tell you what, The next time I see any of you on the phone, I'm stopping right there and call the state police. Any of you.
Okay.
This is how I had my phone. I reached down and got it under my seat. I pulled it up here and I was driving like this. I was not talking on it. You can look. You can look when you pull me over. See whether I was on my phone.
Why are you being like this?
I'm being it because I've seen this crap enough. And I'm tired
Here you
of
go.
it.
Here's your license, registration, privilege insurance.
Give it to me. Let me have my license now.
Also, you need to go get your license up to date because they're expired, okay?
Next time I...
Okay, remember, this was a judicial hearing board bench trial. With that in mind, here are some of the reports about the witnesses who testified and what they said. So, another circuit court judge in the same judicial circuit testified. This is what was reported. Judge Charles Carl, serving as a witness instead of in his usual role, testified that he was surprised by what he saw in a video of his colleague, Judge Carter Williams, at a traffic stop. Well, first off, I would say it was out of character for how I know him, Carl said during a hearing of the Judicial Hearing Board in Martinsburg. Angry, agitated. That's not how I perceive him. That's not how he acts in court. I just thought he had a bad day. The town's former police chief testified. Moorfield's former police chief, Steve Reckert, took a call from Judge Williams at home the night of the traffic stop. He was upset, agitated, and began to tell me about events that had just occurred. Reckert testified. He was upset with one of the officers, Officer Johnson, because he stopped him for a cell phone violation and went on to elaborate about the cell phone and how it happened to be there. Then he began to tell me about the frustrations with the Moorfield Police Department. Reckert also recalled the fact that he was expressing his displeasure in some of the criminal cases that were being brought to his court and advised that he had some leeway in some of those cases, but that he might look at them tighter in the future. The town's mayor testified. Moorfield Mayor Carol Zuber testified that Judge Williams went to her home at about 10 p.m. the night of the traffic stop. He was upset, Zuber recalled. He said, "You know, I really hate to do this to you, but you'll have to do something with the police officers," and then proceeded to tell me that he was pulled over because they accused him of holding his cell phone, talking on his cell phone. She continued, "He made the indication that all of my officers, that I needed to straighten them up. He said they were a bunch of young men, that they were kids." A retired judge from the same judicial circuit also testified. Again, from the news reports, former Circuit Judge Donald Cookman, who served in the same circuit where Williams and Judge Carl preside earlier in his career and was also chairman of the Judicial Investigation Commission. As the allegations about how Williams had behaved swirled through the community, local officials had turned to Cookman for advice. Cookman testified today that what he saw in the video created an impression. I was shocked. I'd known Judge Williams for a number of years, actually knew him as an attorney, Cookman said. He's always very respectful, and I was surprised and shocked, Cookman testified. I was concerned that it might be a violation of judicial ethics. And last but not least, Judge Williams himself took the stand yesterday in his own defense, as reported. All this is linked at the website. Yesterday, for the first time out in the hallway during a break, I got to talk to the young man that I was so rude to, Williams testified today. For the first time, I got to say I'm sorry. I shook his hand and I said, "I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for all this upset." Williams today acknowledged flying off the handle, but denied trying to leverage the authority and prestige of his office. From day one, I said that my conduct on July 11th last year was unbecoming of a judge. I said it was disrespectful and rude, he testified. He later added, "I made a federal case out of it. Just silly. Made a federal case out of it. For whatever reason on that day, I was going to defend myself. Advocate for myself like Custer on his hill. Die there. That's what it felt like. And that was the mode I was in." The judge testified that he never said he would change his rulings in his courtroom based on the views he had expressed. "I never said I was going to change my rulings. Wouldn't have done that. I would never do that," he said. The judge testified that the past year of allegations has altered his reputation in the community and hurt his family. "So yes, my conduct is what it is. It'll have to be up to someone else," he said, referring to the hearing board. "But regardless of that and far beyond that, I've had to understand that this and be called a racist in this culture and a thief. That's just about as bad as you can be called. And I'm none of those. I've never been. I'm a lot of things. I'm not those. My actions opened the door for me to be called publicly what I'm not, so my actions did that, yes." So, now the Judicial Hearing Board will issue a written recommendation that will be forwarded to the West Virginia Supreme Court. which contains the board's determination about whether or not there was a judicial ethics violation, whether it was proven by the standard, which is clear and convincing evidence, and if so, ultimately advising to the Supreme Court what the board's recommendation is as to the disciplinary sanctions. And that ranges from admonishment to a fine, to a suspension, to loss of his law license. So the state Supreme Court ultimately is free to adopt those recommendations or to completely ignore them. However, in my experience, I believe that it's highly likely that the Supreme Court is going to defer to whatever factual findings are contained in their recommendation report. But if there's some sort of issue of law, they're much more likely to stray from whatever the board determined the law is and do something completely different. But they tend to defer to the actual board of individuals who heard the witness testimony. So there's a lot of deference there in my experience. And I'm not aware of there being a whole lot of legal dispute here. It's pretty much just a dispute of what happened and what level of culpability exists and what the appropriate punishment will be. So I think there is could be a couple months, could be a couple weeks before this written recommendation opinion comes out, and then it will go to the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals. So make sure that you subscribe both on the website with your email and also subscribe here, and we'll still follow along, and I'm anxious to see what ends up happening here.